So in this video, I'll be teaching you how to do the pivotal method of transferring your data. This method allows you to transfer your data from one point to another without having to cut through your pattern, your basic block. So that means that you can transfer your data from one point to another without cutting through your basic block. And to do so, what you need is that you will be needing your basic block pattern with your data, your waist, your existing data, which is your waist, and your bust data. And then you'll be also needing a fresh piece of pattern paper. This is where you'll be transferring your data to. So you place your pattern on the new pattern paper like this. Before proceeding, you first of all determine where you are transferring your data to, and also know that you can also transfer both of the data to one point and then transfer each of the data to different points as well. So I'll be showing you how you can do this in this video. I'll be transferring each of the data to the mid shoulder point. So first of all, I'll mark out where I want to transfer the data to here. Then I will connect it to the apex with a ruler like this. So once I'm done, you are going to get a pin. So this pin helps you to hold this here. Place the pin on the apex like this. After placing the pin like this, I'll be sketching out, make sure that the center front of your pattern aligns with the margin of the new paper. So what I'll be doing is that I'll be marking out, tracing out my pattern from the neck. I will trace it to the new paper like this. So make sure that your paper is still so that it won't move. So you can also use your tracing wheel to do this, but I'll be using this marker. So I'll trace like this. Then I'll also trace the shoulder. Once I trace the shoulder, I will stop at this point. I won't exceed this point where I'll be transferring the data to, right? I will not exceed it. So once I'm done with that part, the upper part, I will also come to this lower part and then mark out from here, from this center front, to the first dart leg of the waist dart. I will mark out from this center front. I will trace out from the center front to the first dart leg of the waist dart. Afterward, I will move my pattern like this in such a way that this center, the second leg of the waist dart will come to this point here. Look at it. It will come to this point. Then I will continue the tracing from here. I will trace it out from here. Then I will also trace this point from this first dart leg of the bust dart. I will trace it on the side front to join this part. After tracing here, you are going to skip this dart. And how do you skip this dart? You are going to move your pattern in such a way that this second dart leg will come here, will come to this point, like this. So what you do, don't mind if the thing, all you just have to do is continue. You continue your tracing like this. Then you trace the armhole. So make sure that you trace the armhole like this. And then you trace this shoulder line to stop at this point, this mid-shoulder point. So once you are done tracing like this, you can now remove your pin holding the pattern, your basic block to the new pattern. You remove it. And once you remove it, you'll see a hole that the pin punctured. This is the apex of the dart. So this is the apex of the dart. So all you just have to do is to bring a ruler and then you connect this point here to here. And then you connect from this point to this point. So this is how you transfer your bust dart and your waist dart to the mid-shoulder point or any other point using the pivotal method. So to transfer each of the darts to different points using the pivotal method, all you have to do is to mark out where you are transferring the darts to. So for this one, I'll be transferring here to mid-shoulder, mid-shoulder. Then also, I will also transfer to the center front waist. So here I'll draw a line to the center front waist like this. CF waist. So what I have to do, like in the first one, you are going to use your pin to mark out, to pin down your paper on the apex. Here I have identified out the first dart leg and the second dart leg of each of the darts, the bust dart and the waist dart. So now what I'll do now is I'm going to trace out this dart. I'll trace out my center front from this point, from the mid-shoulder point to this center front point. I'll use my either you use your tracing wheel or my marker, but in this class I'll be using my marker. I'll trace it out. You can use your tracing wheel here. Make sure that your paper is not moving. Then I'll trace top at this center front waist. So afterwards, I'll now come and trace this point from this second dart leg of the waist dart to the side front. Then I will also trace out the side front from the first dart leg of the bust dart like this. So the first thing I'm going to do now is to transfer the waist dart to the center front point. So to do this now, I'm going to move this pen in such a way that the first dart leg touches this point. I'll move it to the point of the second dart leg like this. Then I'll trace out the remaining parts here. Afterward, I'll then return my paper to the original way it is, where the center front of the paper aligned with this mark I've made. Then to transfer this bust dart now to the mid-shoulder point, I'll move the pattern in such a way that this second dart leg meets up with this first dart leg. So all I have to do is to rotate my paper in such a way that this second dart leg meets up with this first dart leg, and then I'll mark out, then also mark out my armhole. If you use your tracing wheel, it will be more better. Then mark out my shoulder to this point, to this mid-shoulder point. Then after I'm done, I'm going to remove my block. Once I remove my block, see the apex here. See the apex? So I will now connect, use my ruler to connect this point to this point, to the apex, and also this point to this point. And then I'll also connect here to this point. So what I have done here is to successfully transfer my bust dart to the mid-shoulder point and the waist dart to the center front point using the pivotal method. So this is the pivotal method of dart transfer. So here I transfer the waist dart and the bust dart to two different points on the basic block, and here I transfer the waist dart and the bust dart to one point of the basic block.